It has been 3 weeks since the defeat of the Bastards of Erebus and the arrest of Palavine, priest of Asmodeus. And our party, though gathered and united in purpose at the end of this scorching summer, have scattered to the winds, or at least as far as the winds will allow them to go whilst remaining in the city of Westcrown, this faded jewel on the southern coast of the country of Cheliax. The heat has broken as we've moved into Rova, and as we zoom down onto this city, we can see that the people of Westcrown are celebrating. For today is Signing Day, one of the most important holidays in Cheliax. The day on which new laws in the Empire take effect. But it's also the day in which business arrangements, oaths of fealty, and important marriages are conducted. And thus, indeed, we can see, as we zoom across Westcrown Island, in the middle of the River Adivian, the people of the noble houses having their own small parties, gatherings, marriages. But even on the land-based side of Westcrown, we can see the common folk also celebrating. We can see people along the banks of the river preparing for fireworks displays. In the Pleat, for example, the orcs there might be showing off feats of strength. And in Rego Scripa, we can see educated people, or people with educations, publicly debating on which merit of Cheliax is better than the others. Of course, any sort of discussion of flaws of our beautiful government would not be appreciated. There's one building in particular, though, that, despite the celebrations that are going on, still appears to be dark and uninhabited as we arrive once more to the Shrine of Aroden, the safe house for the Concerned Citizens group. The Shrine of Aroden is on the corner of a less occupied square in northern Rego Cader, the sacred district. One that's filled with all sorts of temples and shrines. And we see 2 people approaching this square from opposite directions. Zehkun, can you tell us what you look like? It's been a couple weeks since we last saw you.
Zehkun looks well rested. He has taken some time to restore and find some respite from the recent events that he and his companions were involved in. He has his hair is very well done. He's changed into a new suit of leather armor, and he still has this multicolored, almost rainbow-colored cloak around his shoulders, but you can see that there has been some patchwork done on it. This cloak did not go undamaged from recent events. Spells were flung at him, blades were flung at him, and he had to have some patchwork done to it to get it all fixed up. Also, slung over his back is a satchel, and from the top of the satchel, we only see the end of the handle of a mace sticking out. The rest of it covered by the backpack, and Zehkun's wandering from one direction into the square, heading towards the shrine. His eyes looking across the square and probably from a different direction spotting Lowen approaching.
Yes, Lowen doesn't look different much in expression, I think. I mean, they didn't take as many hits as Zehkun did, but they look more casual than anything. They're wearing a just simple long sleeve black shirt with like black trousers and black boots, but have their usually long hair up in a sort of bun with like these sort of strands falling next to their face. And yeah, they're also carrying their backpack, but they'll spot Zehkun from a distance and look a bit surprised. Didn't expect him here, but will walk up and give a nod, and we'll just go, Zehkun, nice to see you.
Lowen, how have you been?
All right, and what about you? What brings you here?
Well, and he takes the backpack off, opens the top of it to show Lowen what's inside, clearly showing the mace that was wielded by Palavine in the encounter with the bastards. I was thinking that there was quite some useful magic on this weapon, but I think it's not of much use to anyone as it currently is. So, I got to thinking, can we maybe transfer this magic to something else, something that is more beneficial to someone? And he reaches down deep into the backpack and just pulls out these cloth strips, and just to demonstrate it, like wraps one set of them around his own hand. Maybe put them on some other powerful weapon. And I heard Arael might have some skills with that. I take it you're here on some other kind of business?
Lowen looks at the items and goes, the stash. Yes, it's for my business. I am here to check in with Morris, mostly. See how he's doing.
Right, Morris. Well, shall we then?
And he will sort of push the door open and go, after you.
Zehkun, curtsies and then enters.
Amazing.
The shrine is relatively calm. The 2-3 times you've been here before, of course, were very special, extenuating circumstances. And so it's probably a little strange for you both to walk in here and not see a flurry of activity and a hubbub of hushed conversations. In fact, there don't seem to be very many people here at all. You can see Arael, the Ayuvaran human man who leads this group of concerned citizens. Tall, broad-shouldered, tan-skinned, with long hair done up in a top knot today. And speaking to Fiosa, the young halfling woman who was friends with Sombra, a white-skinned woman with short, dark hair that, if I remember correctly, comes up at the ends. And they're both surprised as the door opens and look. Hi, welcome everyone. Or is it just the two of you? Fiosa sort of jumps down from the elevated stage they were on, where the lectern sits near the statue. Hi, so is it just the two of you? There's no one else came?
If you're asking about Sombra, she's not here, no.
It's just, haven't really heard from Samra, and, I just want to make sure she's doing okay.
Sure, she'll handle herself. But if I do run into her, I'll let her know that you've asked about her.
Arael more calmly, lowers himself down from the stage instead of full-on jumping like Fiosa did, and walks over. This is an unexpected surprise. Morris mentioned that you'd be dropping by today, Lowen, but Zehkun, what a pleasure.
Did you expect to not see any of us again after that job we did?
He smiles awkwardly. We, Genevan and I, and the rest, we've been trying to keep a low profile since everything. It's not that we aren't super grateful for what you've done. Clearing out the bastards, you've made an immeasurable difference to this town. But with the extra Hell Knight attention, it just made sense for us to close up shop for a little while.
Close up shop? You're stopping whatever you're doing?
We're pausing. We still, of course, want to do good and are very concerned, but everyone else has day jobs. They can't neglect their income, and I wouldn't expect them to either.
I see. Well, you did say a while ago that you didn't have a solid plan, so that tracks, yes.
Yes, I mean, little steps will make a large journey.
Of course.
Can we at least still rely on your skills, Arael?
My skills? If you're looking for a priest, I'm sure the Dora Janala could offer you more official Iomedean aid.
I know plenty of priests and holy men in the Plead. I'm looking for someone who might be a little bit skilled in magical tinkering.
Oh, yes, I am quite proficient in magic crafts. Been working on some scrolls over the last few weeks, trying to sell those and make some extra income. I'm surprised you don't have any magical crafters in the Pleat?
Something that we are still desperately looking for, Zehkun says as he pulls off the backpack and just plumps it down on the ground, and we can hear the cling of the metal inside on the stone ground. He opens the backpack and pulls out the mace, this clearly infernal-looking design, holds it in one hand as if he's checking the balance of it. I really don't like the way this weapon looks. It's too dramatic. I never had a thing for flashy designs. Would you consider yourself capable of extracting the magic from this and put it onto something more practical?
Certainly, it's quite easily done, actually.
Very well then. And I hand over the mace and also the set of hand wraps in the backpack. Do whatever you need to do. I personally do not care what happens with the mace in the process of this, but make sure that the hand wraps remain in mint condition. They're not for me.
Understood, and of course, transferring this rune onto the hand wraps will make them much more durable, which is what you need if you're punching with them.
Some people are born with very natural weapons.
Right, he smiles, and Fiosa smiles too. Everyone knows who we're talking about. So he kind of lifts up the mace and starts examining it. To transfer this rune is going to take a day.
Yeah.
And 10% of the rune's price, which is
3 gold, 5 silver.
He says, well, of course, as friends of the concerned citizens, and for everything you've done, I'm happy to do this at no additional cost. But we're not very liquid right now, so if you wouldn't mind covering the cost. I mean, with this mace, I'd say 3 gold.
I'll make sure that once you're done with the work, I'll have the payment for you. Honest labor deserves honest payment.
And maybe you could put in a good word with Ravaja. I'd be happy to give classes at the Pleat.
Zehkun looks at Arael and thinks back to his conversations with Ravaja about Arael and her stance on these concerned citizens. There's a slight smirk on his face, and then he says, I'll have to put in an essay worth of good words to make that work.
He smiles and nods, trying not to
But don't worry. I'm good at coming up with essays.
Okay. I'm sure there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but Fiosa sort of just touches his forearm, says, I think you've made your point, Arael. And he nods. Yes, of course.
I'll leave you to this work then. I'll be dropping by tomorrow. or whenever is convenient to pick up the item?
Well, I still need to gather materials for the transfer of the
assume.
magic. If you could come by next week.
Plenty of time. I'll drop by in a week, and we'll make sure I have the payment with me. And in these coming days, I can already put in a few good words with Ravaja.
Excellent.
Now, there's a food cart waiting for me.
And he nods and they sort of wave you off.
Zehkun wanders off, just gives a quick nod to Lowen.
Lowen will give a nod back. And we'll go and find Morris.
They direct you to the kitchen where Morris is preparing lunch. Just some bread and some dried meats, making sandwiches for the 3 of them that are here in the shrine. Morris says, Lowen, you make your way back there. Despite the fact that it's been a few weeks since you've seen him, it seems he's grown like quite a bit in that time, which seems a little strange, although being a teenager, growth spurts do come at weird times. But even as he's bending into the oven to see how the sandwiches are toasting on this light flame that he's got going, you can see in the muscles in his arm are growing. He's working out for sure. Oh, Lowen, hey, I completely forgot you were coming. Should I make a sandwich for you?
It's alright, I already ate. But it seems like you've been working out and taking care of yourself. It's good to see.
Yeah, Arael's been giving me lessons with the blade.
That's good. Good. How are you? How have you been?
Good.
Good. How, and he'll sort of look back to see if there's anyone in earshot or not.
There's at least 2 doors between you and that big room, because if we remember, the kitchen is in a weird tunnel of rooms, which I hate.
Yeah, if he is certain that other people are further away, he'll go I've heard that the concerned citizens are not doing much at the moment, and, well, hearing that, I couldn't help but wonder, how is your family doing? I know that you came to me before because you needed extra money, but it seems like there's not much money being made here. I think Morris can see it. This is a genuine question. He's not sometimes Lowen says things and he's trying to tease or there's something behind that. This is a pretty genuine question.
Well, Mother's been able to pick up extra work lately. Just mending ripped shirts and darning socks. A lot of preparation for the winter as well. But I've been picking up extra shifts or work at the Temple of Iomade, the Dorjanala. Just sweeping and moving a lot of bricks. They're rebuilding, and, well, the head priestess, she can be very strict, but it's good for me, and the money's not bad.
That's good. Well, if something changes, come find me. I can maybe help. And he'll pull out a coin purse and pull out, let's say, 3 silver to offer to him.
Lowen, I don't need that, thank you.
Take it anyway. Get yourself something for maybe armor. Well, will cost more than this, but save up.
I'm trying not to live like that anymore.
I see. Then why are you training?
Well, I mean, I don't want to benefit from ill-gotten gains. And he brings his voice down.
And what makes you so sure that this is ill-gotten gains? After all, me and my associates did do something good taking the bastards down, didn't we?
Yes, yeah. But listen, I thank you.
All right. And he'll put the money away. Right. Well, it is good to see that you are doing good, and I think I think Morris can see that Lowen's struggling. He's not good with words, and there's something on his mind, and he's trying to figure out how to word it. And he just sort of stands there, like, in the doorway, almost, well, not necessarily unlike himself, but it just, I don't know if Morris ever seen him struggle this much. And he pauses and goes, "Listen, a little while ago, when we were talking, you told me that you felt like you weren't respected. That has been on my mind. I did not mean for that to happen, especially because I know what that feels like, and I would hate to think that I have done the same to you. So I guess I wanted to apologize, and, well, let's just say that I would hate for there to be any bad blood between us. That makes sense."
Oh, gee, Lowen. Thanks, I guess. And he, like, rubs the back of his neck. That's awfully nice of you. Hey, we're having a party next week. It's actually a holiday, the Day of the Inheritor. You should come.
And you see Sir Lowen is like, he's not necessarily a party person in the holiday sense, but seeing Morris and hearing his enthusiasm, he just sighs and then smiles and goes, "Fine, I'll be there."
It's on Wheel Day.
Right. Anything I should bring? I'm not usually doing holidays.
We've got most of the food taken care of, but Genevan says a bottle of wine never hurts.
I can get that. That'll work.
They haven't been able to really recover since the bar was pillaged by the Hell Knights.
Right. I will get that. And then I will see you in a week.
Cool. Great.
And he'll give a nod, and then we'll move out.
As the camera zooms back out, we can see like sort of wind blowing. The weather is nice, the sun is shining, but you know, in that first week of Rova, or September on the Earth calendar, there's that cool breeze that sort of breaks the heat of the summer before it. And now, as we're getting closer, fall is on the horizon, and there is maybe a touch of cool air in the wind. Zehkun, you come back to the Shrine of Aroden 6 days later and are very surprised this time when you step in, and instead of the lack of concerned citizens like last week, all of the concerned citizens are there today, including a Lowen who might be cringing or
I think he's doing his best for Morris' sake. Like, I feel like there's like small talk being made, and he just sat there like sort of in his mind, like, how do I get out of this? But he's doing his best. He's also drinking the wine that he brought because he needs it.
Zehkun is quite surprised by the sight of this many people here and didn't really expect Lowen in this environment. He quickly gives a quick nod towards Lowen and makes it clear that he will check in with the companion in a minute. But first, going through the crowd, Zehkun is looking for Arael. But what's Arael doing with all these party people here?
Now, there's about 10 people plus Lowen plus you, so we've got a dozen folks in here.
Oh, that's crowded for this place.
It's quite crowded. You can see the concerned citizens like look extra surprised when they see you. Like, we're happy enough to see Lowen, but as they see you, they're nodding and shaking your hand and saying hello. We can see Gorvio and Larko have a small. Gorvio's playing the guitar, and Larko's got like a small violin, and they're playing some music in the corner. But you find Arael and Genevan leaned up against the stage, and Genevan's got her arm around Ariel's waist and is like holding him in, pulling him into her, and he's kind of like got his arm on her shoulder and is draped over her a little bit.
Zehkun notices that, and with a respectful distance, he just clears his throat, like,
They look over as you walk up, and you can see Arael like maybe shift a little bit, and Genevan just holds him in place with her arm around his waist. Hey, Zehkun. Wow. Good to see you. And she extends her other hand for a shake.
Zehkun shakes the hand and looks at you. Genevan, it's been a while, and I'm glad to see you in such merriment. Is there a reason for this festivity?
Arael nods. Yeah, today is the day of the Inheritor. It's the day that the Church of Iomade welcomed the worshippers and followers of Aroden into their flock. It's the day she truly gained her title as the Inheritor. She inherited Aroden's domain.
What ways do you pay respect to her on this day?
It's typically a day we celebrate the fellowship, our community, our comrades in arms, our allies. And it's a day we forgive and we pray for the fallen. We're also celebrating Fiosa's ordainment in the Church of Iomade.
There are many reasons to celebrate then today.
And if you look over, you can see her, Fiosa, surrounded by some of the concerted citizens, like wearing like a very like fresh white robe with a golden holy symbol, the sword of Iomade, around her neck.
This sounds like a great day, and to also include the remembrance of the fallen is an important act.
It is. But I know what you're here for.
I am curious about the final results.
Of course. Right over here. And he leads you into the office that's across from the dining room. And in there, you can see the table here has been sort of like cleared, and there's chalk inscriptions like written on the wooden desk. Maybe like a pouch with some sort of magical powder in it, a vial where some sort of elixir was boiling, bubbling, or maybe some incense. So he goes over, and you can see the mace there that is now, it looks almost mute or dead, even though it wasn't necessarily living, but in comparison. And then you see the strips of cloth. As you like pick them up, you can see them flash with golden lines crisscrossed in the thread of these strips. And it feels strong in your hands.
Zehkun picks them up and like really tries to feel the fabric, like the texture, and notices the difference from how it felt before this magic was transferred on here. I also imagine that there's very subtly these little details in the cloth of like runes and symbols, hardly to spot, but if you pay attention, you see them. He smiles and reaches into his pocket to pull out the 3 gold pieces and puts them down on the table next to the now mute, colorless, magicless mace. Arael, this is a great job. Great work.
Thank you. I am always available. In fact, I mentioned last week I was crafting some scrolls. I had an extra that I thought might suit you. And he goes to a small basket that's filled with a handful of spell scrolls and pulls one out. Are you familiar with the spell augury?
Divination, correct?
Yes.
I do like myself some portents.
Then this is for you.
Zehkun takes the scroll.
I have to admit, Zehkun, Genevan and I had made attempts to build a connection with Ravaja before, but this most recent one was because of you.
I will be honest with you then. Ravaja has not much fondness for what you're doing.
I'm not
Your acts conflict with not just her interests, but with the interests of the Plead. Well, more with the interests of the people who helped us to come here.
I had all but given up on making a connection with the Pleat. But when I heard that an orc had arrived, whose touch could heal, that was a vessel of vital energy, of holy light, I knew I had to meet them for myself.
There are many whose touch can heal, many who channel divine forces and heal wounds within an instant. I'm just one of these many.
There might be priests or druids or what have you in the Pleat, but someone like you, I've never heard of. Forgive me if I'm prying too much. Your magic clearly comes from the divine. Are you a religious man?
I do not doubt the powers of faith that shape, or at least guide, our path. But I'm not sure I would call myself religious. I do think this is a kind of question that should be asked and answered in a more, well, in a different setting. You have your celebrations today for your deity. And I, and he pockets the scroll and the hand wraps, have just gotten a few more words for the essay I'm writing towards Ravaja.
Thank you, my friend. And please, you're welcome to stay and celebrate. Drink and eat with us.
I do have someone here I need to check in with.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Arael. And I give him a good shoulder tap and wander back out into the main hall, the main part of the shrine, and past some of the other people who are here drinking, celebrating, walking past Fiosa, who's enjoying the fact that she's now a priest of Iomade. I head over towards where Lowen is.
I think, Lowen's still stuck in that, trying to be social for Morris' sake. And I think when he clocks Zehkun walking towards him, knowing that he wants to talk, he just gets up. He's excuses himself to the other people and gets up and looks at Zehkun and sort of nods his head towards a different hallway to go and talk. And I think as they're walking there, Lowen goes thank you. As seeming really relieved that he got out of there.
You do not enjoy being here, do you?
No. Let's just say that holidays aren't really my thing. I'm just here for Morosino.
Oh. From the things we've been through together, I took you for someone who very much enjoys these kind of spiritual holidays.
I enjoy a party, just not when it's tied to something like this, or other celebrations that I don't really care about. But you wanted to speak with me? That's the impression I got, anyway.
Just a bit of curiosity from my side. When last we met here, you were checking in with this Morris kid?
Yes, the reason that I'm here. He invited me today. Why?
He is doing well?
Yes, it seems so. Which is good.
I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit too curious, but there was a remark that got me thinking. When we fought Palavine, do you remember when the two of us, stepped into his den?
I remember. Yes.
He referred to you as an orphan.
Well, no, he didn't refer to me as an orphan. He asked, if I remember correctly, he suggested that I was taking in orphans, which is incorrect.
Right.
However, you would be correct. I was an orphan once, but he was referring to Morris, who is not an orphan. He just got his information wrong.
But there was at least a partial truth then in what Palavine said.
Let's just say that I had taken Morris under my wing, of sorts, yes. When he was about, this has been 3 years ago, he must have been 12, 13, I don't know. He tried pickpocketing me, did an awful job at it, but he had been successful with other people, and I could tell that he wasn't doing it because he enjoyed it. I mean, most people who pickpocket don't. And I don't know. I offered to teach him. I took him under my wing and taught him a couple of things. He was my assistant for a couple of years, and I saw him grow, essentially, into the young man that he is now. And then he decided he wanted to do something else, which he is allowed to. I mean, I always encourage people to follow their ambitions, even if I don't understand said ambitions, but it's good that he is making something for himself, following his own path.
He can help himself now, right?
Yes, I hope so. I mean, I check in with him because I don't, as you might know, I don't fully trust Arael, and you see, he pauses for a moment, as I think Lowen in the past weeks has come to a couple of conclusions that he doesn't want to admit fully, but I think after a moment he goes, I would be lying if I said I didn't care about where Morris ends up. I know he's not my responsibility. I know he has parents, a family, but when you work with someone for 3 years and you teach them and you watch them grow, it's hard not to care.
Caring about people has nothing to do with responsibility. We care about people because we care about them, even if there's no oath or loyalties or expectations binding us to them anymore.
Yes.
I had no responsibility to come to the city when Ravaja asked me to come. I came here because I care for her.
Yes, I was curious when I first met her. She seemed awfully angry, I think is the word.
That's one way to describe her. Ravaja has seen a lot. All of us orcs from the hold have seen a lot. The Belkson lands are not kind to those who don't know about their dangers, and they haven't gotten much kinder with terrifying undead entering our lands. Ravaja, like many of the orcs at the Plead, has seen the horrors firsthand, and now she's here with many good people trying to build something new. And anything that might be a threat to that is something she wants to fight, something she wants to push away. So yeah, she can come across as angry. She does it because she cares for many, many people here.
I think I would maybe react the same if I would be looking for safety and something might threaten it, but...
You would probably react the same if something would threaten Morris, wouldn't you?
And I think Lowen thinks about that for a moment, trying to picture it, and he goes, well, let's just say that if someone were to hurt him, I would not mind using that spell you love on that person.
Zehkun shudders for a moment. I'm glad we have this conversation, Lowen.
He looks confused a little bit, or surprised is a better word. Why?
Well, not to be rude or anything, but in our recent misadventures, you came across a little bit, what's the term for it, hard-boiled?
Arrogant is what I've heard a lot.
Well, I didn't want to use the word, but...
Everyone does, it's fine.
You should, if you have the time in the coming weeks, you should drop by the Plead. I still have a bit of a hard time understanding the laws of this land. There's some really complicated laws in this city, and
yes,
they don't really make sense to me.
Oh, no, they're designed that way, but it's fine. don't question it. It doesn't make any sense. It's fine. But yes, I will do that. Also because I would hate to see you and Nico in trouble, mainly because, well, the two of you are useful. How Nico has survived all these years and not gotten himself arrested is a miracle. But
we should definitely get Nico there as well. I think it would be beneficial to him as well.
yes, have you not been talking to him at all?
Oh, of course. Over at his food cart regularly.
Right. That's fine. I can also... I mean, the days are getting shorter now. How much do your people know yet about this shadow?
We know enough that we know that we should put out more torches and keep the braziers burning.
The origin of that curse is still a mystery, but I can share what I know. I mean, I've lived here my entire life.
If you come over to share a bit more about what you know of that curse, I think you also had a little bit of questions about the origins of where what I do might come from.
See, he grins as Zehkun offers information, Lowen's favorite currency. And Lowen goes, yes, I do have questions about that, so it sounds like a good deal.
I think that's what they call a quid pro quo.
I think so. You are learning very rapidly. I would almost say I'm proud, but that's maybe too sentimental.
Let's not go too fast within one day.
Well, I will be doing that, but first, next week, maybe the week after, I'll be meeting up with Flint. If you have any messages you want me to pass on, I can do that.
I'll be in touch.
Right.
Don't be a stranger, Lowen.
I think he pauses. There's a sort of expression that briefly flashed across his face that he quickly shuts down again, and he goes, I'll try not to. Now, would you mind joining for this event? And he sort of looks at him as a, like, please.
Zehkun smirks, puts, like, gently a shoulder on the back of Lowen, and navigates the two of them back to the festivities.
And the camera fades to black on our first vignette.
Yay! Woo!
Tumble Through presents Twilight's Edge, a Pathfinder 2nd edition actual play of the Council of Thieves adventure path, converted from Pathfinder 1st edition. Tumble Through uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, used under Paizo's fan content policy, paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Tumble Through is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Incorporated and Paizo products, visit paizo.com.
I was thinking about this